Let's do it. Another episode of the Building Walls podcast. Mr. Dayton, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mr. Whalls. Commander Whalls. How are you, buddy?
Thank you.
Yeah. We got a good show for you tonight. We got a damn good show.
Got a great guest, too.
Heck yeah, one of my buddies.
Introduce her.
I thought you were going to. Well, I would love to. I mean,
it's your buddy.
So here's the deal, guys. We got a special treat tonight. We got somebody who is wild, hair on fire, got a great background. I hope she shares a little bit about that. But it's Cooper Brown, live from Detroit, Michigan.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super happy to be sharing this space with you. So I honestly don't know what to expect, but I guess that's what's more exciting than anything.
We don't either. Yeah.
we never know what's going on.
Because I thought
here.
Chris was introducing you to speak at an Amway info session for a second there.
This girl, she's on fire. She's got
her hair on fire.
She's gonna share some great stuff with you. If you're paying attention, you get some nuggets.
She went, sponsor 3 and put in 10 in her first couple weeks in business.
Oh man, she's going diamond.
No.
Oh, I swear I was
I
like,
get
wait,
it now.
wait.
I was like, where are we going with this? And I'm like, all right, I got it.
She's
all
a
right,
diamond.
I'm
She's
here.
a diamond.
That was great.
I would have to say I'm a triple diamond at this point.
Oh, so you're familiar?
You guys are just talking like straight MLMs, right?
Yes,
When it comes
because
to
that's actually so our
yes.
our audience knows that's how Chad and I know each other. Is we were cross-line running buddies in the old Amway business back in the day.
Totally get it.
We're free from that. Well, I guess I was gonna say curse or prison, but I didn't want to make it sound like that terrible. But we're free. We've earned our freedom. We're off to chase bigger and better, greater things in the world. So.
I get it. I get the joke. I'm totally here for it.
Awesome.
So Cooper, tell us about yourself. You're a realtor, right? Hair's on fire.
Yes. I like to think of myself as someone that's going to stir the pot, definitely in real estate. Of course, I'm a woman in this industry and I'm just unrefined, not that typical 80s style, hair up, done, hair sprayed, and, have a big smile all the time. No, I swear, I tell you how it is. Things are just going to go a certain way. And if you don't like them, chances are you're probably not going to work with me. So I've also liked to refer myself as the Joe Rogan of real estate now for women. And stirring things up and having those hard conversations and the unwanted, talk of what should we be talking about in real estate? What should be happening? How should we tackle these discussions? And not even going to lie to you right now. And a lot of people are dealing with hard discussions right now with the market. And before I got on this podcast, I was just talking to my boyfriend, what do I need to be doing to be putting myself out there for entrepreneurs? What do I need to do to stay in front of people? So it's just a constant go around, how do I need to be putting myself out there to be helping people in this public eye? Having those hard conversations.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Yeah, so I like to stir the pot a lot. And my mom's always texting me hey, maybe we should bring it back to classy. I'm like, no, fuck that. We're not bringing it back to classy. I'm like, things are changing.
We're officially rated R. This podcast.
There's our one F.
There's our one F
episode. We're 2 minutes in, and we can no longer use the F word. I like it.
I mean, should I be getting paid on the F word? Because I will keep saying it. I do not care. I will say it too. I'm purple in the face. But it's just, having to go
feels so good. It feels so good when you say it.
It just rolls off the tongue like nothing's there, right? So, it's just about having to come into real estate. I really wanted to change things up. I didn't want to be that old school brokerage way that you saw of I just sold a house or I have a house listing. It's not about that anymore.
Absolutely.
Right.
It would be great. It's great that you mentioned that, having the tough conversations. What if we started in a public sense, just from peer to peer, friend to friend, neighbor to neighbor, started to have the so-called tough conversations with your neighbor, the things that no one wants to talk about. Like, I hate Joe Biden. I love Joe Biden. I hate Trump. I love Trump. Like, no one wants to talk about that stuff because all
Yeah.
it turns into is a finger pointing of you're different than me and you're wrong, which isn't necessarily true.
I'd rather have people different from me.
Yeah.
I want to find out different people. I want to know what's going on. So like those hard questions that we're talking about is like, are you having a hard time paying your mortgage? Are you behind? Do we need to sell your home to make money so you don't go into a short sale? Like, what do we need to do? How do we need to make sure that you have a house to live in because your family's outgrowing the house, but yet we don't know where you're going to go? What do we need to do? So it's super hard conversations. Do we need to add on to your home because you can't move?
I mean, those are all great ideas.
So
I'll keep going.
Yeah, as we jump into it here, I have a question for you, Dayton. I threw this on the notes. I don't know if you saw it. This, I don't know. We might differ here. I just want to know, do you think Greedo shot first?
No.
See, I think he did. So if you watch the movie, Greedo moves first, and then all of a sudden it turns to Han, and Greedo's like,
yeah, because one, it's rated PG-13 or PG, so they're not going to like get into the graphics, slow by, motion play. But the fact of the matter is, yes, did Greedo move first? Yes. But there's a difference in the draw. Somebody can move, and the whole point of being fast on the draw is the fact that you can beat somebody and shoot them before they shoot you.
Ooh, so there's go ahead, Cooper. I'm finding this article.
I don't know what you're referring to. I'm sure it's like a shoot down, like one-on-one,
Star
like
Wars.
type rodeo. Oh,
Star Wars.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
well, then,
Cooper,
yeah.
you don't
I
know
mean,
what this is?
I do know what Star Wars is, but I was like,
Huge
who's the
issue.
G word? Sorry. That's my fault. I know, like, I just reclaimed my nerd status because apparently I don't know it. So, it's just like a reference. Are you going to be the first one to get punched? Because I have an MMA background. Like, are you going to be the first one to get punched? Or are you going to be the first one to punch? Yeah, are you going to be the first one to get your face messed up? Or are you going to be messing the other person's face up in any situation? Like, who's going to make the first go?
Cooper, how many MMA fights were you in?
Well, one cage
Just
fight.
One
Just
cage?
one.
You were a cage fighter.
That's what. Yeah.
Straight up. I told you this
I
chick
loved
is
it.
so BA. It's awesome. So good. So did you win?
No, I lost. Completely lost, but it was by decision. I'm super happy with that loss. I didn't get knocked out. I didn't get KO'd. I didn't get choked out. That's decision. I thought I won that fight all day, but
did you do some damage on the other girl?
Yeah, of course I did. And it was great because after the fight, her people, her coaches and her trainers and professional people came out to me. They're like, yeah, you pretty much messed up her face. I'm like, that's the goal, because I'm a boxer and, and I fought someone that had ground game.
Ooh.
So
a little ground and pound.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what happens when you like need to study who you're going up against, and critique your defense mechanisms in any way possible.
Gotta know the counters.
So yeah, so that's why I relate a lot of stuff to like MMA or sports because, hey, you got to be the first one punching.
That's what Russia thought, right?
They're still thinking that.
They're still, yeah. I mean, Russia thought they were going to go in. It looks like Ukraine's got a couple of defense mechanisms in place.
Good.
So isn't it crazy what's going on with all this? I mean, there was one article I was reading from the Daily Wire. Elon Musk brings down Starlink nodes or whatever to Ukraine, and Russia has taken out their whole internet infrastructure. And Elon Musk tweets out, and he's like, "Are we gonna play or what? Like it's a battle for Ukraine, I guess. It's me against Russia. What are you guys gonna do?"
Dude, did you see that he straight up said single combat, me versus Putin? Let's go. I was like, dude, You're waiting for like some Alexander Aaron Burr stuff, like Alexander Hamilton, Aaron Burr. Like, let's have a duel.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the president of Ukraine and Putin match up. Let's go, cage fight.
Let's go.
Ooh,
Cage
Like,
fight.
that'd
I
be
want to
good.
see who's.
That'd
Oh
be
my
good.
God, I know. Like so many thirst traps going around about the president of Ukraine. I'm like,
There's
what is
traps.
this? What does this guy got to show? Like, how are we gonna defeat Putin? Like, let's put that in order.
Well, congratulations, Cooper. You have dropped the first F-bomb of the week, and you have the first ever thirst trap on the Building Walls podcast.
Man, should
Those
I be
words have
asking?
never been uttered before.
Yeah.
And I would like to extend congratulations and let you know that we'll be sending you your Building Walls award so that you can post it on all your social media tomorrow.
Perfect, just like everything in real estate. I
Yep.
got a reward. I got an award.
I'm number one at what? At using thirst trap on the Building Walls podcast.
Yeah, what are those awards that go around? The
The home snap. I
Yes,
got one.
yes.
It's because you pay for it.
So dumb.
it's fantastic.
I didn't advertise it, but I should totally do it.
You should. You should wait like 2 more weeks after they've all died down and be like, oh, forgot to mention this.
I was thinking about that. Because everyone puts it out at the same time because everyone gets it at the same time through a similar email that's specified to the people that pay into their program.
Right.
That's it.
I mean, but back to our thirst trap. What would happen if Elon Musk and Vladimir Putin decided to do an old-fashioned duel? Like, no weapons, just singles combat. Let's go to the death.
Hands. I can just see like super old school, like fighting with your fists in front of your face and the mustaches coming out. Like, come on.
Right,
Like,
Putin would have a fifth of vodka
vodka.
in his hand. He'd just ram it down and then jump in the ring.
Maybe he would come down to the ring rolling up on a horse bareback, just like
Yeah.
shirtless, just like
Yeah.
With a sword.
I mean,
So it is crazy that there's all of this wild like social backing towards Ukraine. And then there was an article that came out, or there was I think it was a tweet from former Democratic Senator Tulsi Gabbard saying that a lot of this is to protect Ukraine because there's labs there where they're developing pathogens and they need to exercise X amount of time so that they can get these pathogens out, according to the WHO. And she's getting hammered for this stuff all across the board. Oh, good old Mitt Romney's coming out after her. What do you guys think about this stuff?
Cocaine Mitt? I didn't see the article.
Cocaine Mitt.
I wish I could have voted for him. If he was able to be president, if he actually got like the presidency card, like that would have been hilarious. But no, he honestly needs to be quiet. I feel like he doesn't help a lot with society. But then also too, like people need to know like there's more out there. Like, these major countries are doing a lot behind the scenes that we may not know about. So having to say like what is actually happening and people are not liking it, being fully transparent.
Tulsi has called out the Democrat, her own party, on numerous occasions. She's actually one of the more rooted in reality people. And, she's calling something out. How does that make her a Russian propagandist? Like, why is that the default? Like, if you disagree with what somebody else is saying, well, oh, you're a Russian spy then. I mean, like, come on. It's like Trump all over again. Russia, Russia, Russia. Always Russia.
Yeah, I was the same way. Like, why is the first thing just because someone speaks out? Oh, you're for
The
Russia.
communists. It's
Yeah.
like straight up communism.
You're
a
like, coming
communist
back.
now.
Yep, you're a communist just because you're trying to say like this is what we have here and these are the facilities and this is what's taken as is. Like you're trying to protect communism. It's like we're not going back that way.
Yeah, I mean, and according to her, she's saying that the U.S. and the WHO, the European Union, NATO, all these companies are trying to protect these labs because, according to her, there's 25 to 30 U.S. backed pathogen labs in Ukraine.
Wow.
That's a lot.
I mean,
for a country that's, not really on the map, so to speak.
do you think Hunter Biden
They're on the
is
map.
the CEO or on the board for one of these places?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
He's
if they pass around crack, he's got to be there.
I mean, seriously, look at
That'd
where
be
we're at.
nice.
How in the world did we end up here? We're at a place where just a couple months ago, the administration was like, you know what? Here's our good idea. We're gonna give out some crack pipes, and then Russia's like, that's it. U.S. is off their game. We're invading Ukraine right now. China's like, F this. We're going to Taiwan, and everybody. Iran is firing missiles at Iraq again, and North Korea is like, oh, we're going? Oh, okay, let's go. And the whole world's falling apart, man. Why? Because Biden wants to give out crack pipes.
Well,
that's why.
I don't follow. So honestly, I don't watch the news anymore. Like I follow politics. It's like whatever I may read or whatever I come across and like specifically seek out. But I mean, is Ukraine a part of NATO? I don't
No.
think so. Yeah. So
No.
that's why they're attacking Ukraine. And that's why it's a huge issue because Russia had bombed somewhere. It was more west of Ukraine. It was super close to the Polish border that is a part of NATO. So that's why a lot of Ukraine or most of Ukraine is getting hit right now because they're not a part of NATO.
Well, but here's the question though, and I want to get your thoughts on this. But I mean, we're now modern age. When was the last time that we saw a superpower or a more powerful country, rather, do territory expansion? You know, I know Chad and I were talking about
World
it
War
earlier today.
II?
Well, like throughout the history of time, it's always been that way. Like the ancient Romans,
Yeah.
the ancient Greeks, the Macedonians. You had
Mhm.
all those people that to grow their
The
empires.
US, hello, the US, the Americans.
Yeah, we
Like
rolled
the
up.
same
Yeah.
things. Like, I mean, we can't think about like that ourselves as well.
Well, we got, and that's true. And we got to a point where, okay, I kind of think like after World War II, the world was pretty established. Like, all right, you've got major countries all across the world. And it's a really big deal if somebody decides to take over with military physical force another culture, another country. You know, I can see if someone who wants to assimilate, like if the Ukraine was like, yeah, well, let's fold into Russia, that's in our best interest. That's a different story, as opposed to the Russian army rolling up and being like, you're part of us now. The end.
And that's what they're trying to prove right now, right?
Yeah, but I mean, is that okay? And whether they're part of NATO or not, is that okay in the world that we live in?
But didn't this happen for like the Vietnam War too? It was questionable, and then we had joined because they weren't a part of NATO. It's the same situation in every war, you know, whether or not we're going to decide to join, you know, because they don't have the backup defenses because of NATO. And it's unfortunate. But honestly, I agree. Like, I don't think I have seen, honestly, an expansion of land territorial possession since probably World War II.
Right.
Well, so I mean, there is the thing too that Ukraine was once a part of the USSR, which wasn't all that long ago.
The 80s?
Yeah.
The 80s?
I think it's 91 that they became.
Yeah,
their
it was
own
like
place.
late 80s. Yeah.
And Putin still claims that all those countries are a part of Russia.
They're still probably still paying taxes.
Yeah, right.
No,
And
I'm
then,
serious.
Yeah,
They're
and
probably
then
still paying.
you do have part of the reason, allegedly, why the U.S. went into like Vietnam was to stop the push of communism. That we were supposed to have the higher superiority. And a question for you two is, if that's the case, Russia, isn't technically a communist country. Now they may kind of do things that lead us to believe that, but do you think that something like that, so that we can stop these world powers or Russia from invading, is that part of the reason why you think that we should give forces to them? Or is that part of the reason why you think we shouldn't?
I mean, the thing is like we got to be able to sit back and wait and see if these people can actually handle it and protect themselves. Can Ukraine?
I think it's so for me, it's less like political and more humanitarian.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more? I mean, at what point is too far? Too much, too much, too far. I mean, they blew up a hospital. They killed
the
children.
first blow up was the first one. Like, you should have been in there after the first one, not after the 10th one.
Yeah, it's like, how many more pregnant mothers need to die before we say, okay, that you've gone too far. You're not allowed. This is a no-fly zone now. At what point exactly is it too much for the people who are in our leadership to say, all right, enough is enough? I just want to know the answer to that question. Just tell me.
It honestly should have been like, shit should have been shut down like weeks ago, in my opinion. If I honestly was running this country, I would have been like, what man in power is going to be upset about territorial and have to get aggressive and use their emotion and then use missiles? Like, what man should be in power at that point? Sorry, but like, what are you upset about? You have to go and use missiles? Why can't we have a discussion?
Yeah. The biggest question is, like, internally, there's people in Russia who are not in favor of this. They're definitely not having a good time, but they need to do something. At what point internally, like, if the United States decided to fire a missile into, I don't even care who, like, say North Korea, like, we're not big fans of North Korea, but if you blew up a maternity ward, I'm going to have a real problem with that. Like, a real big problem. I'm going to go find who ordered that, and we're going to, like, rip those people out, because you can't do that in today's age. You cannot do it.
Yeah, there was that clip on the Russian news station. That lady goes walking across the screen with no war and then whatever else the rest of it
said. I heard she got thrown in jail, though. She's like in jail.
I'm sure.
She's probably dead by now. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna lie. Well, think about it. When you guys, like, I mean, it wasn't too far long ago when the Olympics were in Russia, and then they had a bunch of propagandists coming out during the Olympics saying, stuff bad about Russia, and most of those people got locked up. It's been coming for a long time. And now he's trying to take control over it, and then people are getting sent to Ukraine. And it's funny because, like, Ukraine's telling them, like, you better call your mom, come pick you up, because this is a goddamn lie. These people are lying to you about this war. And it's crazy to me because, then people will put up about, the propaganda that they're spitting out to their people and how they're getting broadcast across, like, all television shows, and they're all scripted. They're all saying the same thing. And the reason why we don't know their language is because, I don't know Russia, but when you line all of their audios up next to each other, you can tell they're all scripted.
Wow.
So there's been a lot of that coming out. So, like, it's coming down from a funnel from somewhere. So everything's being funneled. Everything's being told a certain truth. And it's scary because it's starting to turn into a North Korean thing.
Yeah. And hopefully it stays at North Korea and not Germany, 1935.
Oh, gee.
Hey.
Oh, jeez. Hey, don't
1935. I don't even want to think about that.
You might get canceled.
Oh, you might get canceled big time.
Canceled.
Especially if you didn't think that it might have happened. I'm just saying. I'll just say it. But it's crazy. It's really sad. You see a lot of these videos that are like coming out of Ukraine with hospitals blown to pieces, people having to live underground in bunkers. And you're like, dude, it's 2022.
Yeah. How is this happening?
Why are we allowing this to happen? It's the saddest thing ever, and then we're supposed to be one of, like, the strongest countries. And yet we're dealing with so many problems internally that I don't even think that we could even go and help these people. Yes, exactly. Like, this shit that you're putting up, like, this is the saddest thing ever. It's crazy. And people not being able to see this.
So unfiltered over there. It's fantastic. This is great.
You're welcome.
No, I'm serious. I love it.
And people need to be like this more. No, you're fine. And people need to be like this more. Like, what are we doing with ourselves? How are we portraying ourselves? And, the thing is we're not being honest with other people. It's like, we have major fucking issues with internal US. Like, we may not be able to go and help you. And why are we not saying that? Why are we not saying, like, this person can go and help you?
Yeah, that's what
Like
I
what?
think part of it is too, is that all these NATO countries or the European Union, like they constantly rely on the country that's halfway around the world to come to their beck and call, just like World War II. When, ironically enough, in World War II, the US wasn't even a great military power at that point. But for some reason, the US had to come in and save the day. And thank God that Japan decided to attack, because if they never did, the US may not have joined.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same spot here where, and that's one of the things that is so stifling when you see, like, when Trump was in office. One of the things that I liked was he said NATO's going to pay their fair share. It's, like, it's enough that the US is going to help you run your lives, so to speak. And this is the same case. If Poland doesn't like it, if NATO doesn't like it, that's why NATO was created. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization was created to have their own military power that all these countries put money into to create, to stop threats like this. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to create it, use it.
You have to fund it.
But I don't get why it's almost like everyone's just sitting back and waiting to see what the US is going to do.
It's because that's how it always had panned out in the past. I mean, if you think about it, everyone always had
Yeah.
tried to rely on the US when, we had the numbers. But at this point in 2022, like most of these countries are outbeating the population of the US. And then too, like how I think about it, like what are these countries that are surrounding Ukraine doing? Nothing. Like
Right.
that's my border. Like I definitely want to help and protect as much as possible. Like, so for sure I understand, like, why do they rely on us?
Yeah, and I think it's crazy to think that if you're Ukraine and you've been a sovereign nation for, 20, 30 years now, don't you think that you would have found a way to, made sure that you had enough forces? And it honestly appears they do, or they're getting missiles or, counterattack weapons from somewhere, because they're holding their
But
own.
were they getting it from Russia? Like that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we got to think about. Was that like a trade-off that happened when they came out of the USSR? Like,
Yeah.
what were the trade-offs? Like specifically, we don't know exactly. And are they still paying them taxes, or are they still paying into anything because they had split off? So, hey, it's crazy. And then people are starting to tell me too, even in the US, they're like, I might go and join the army. I'm like, dude, aren't you like 28, almost 30? And you're going to go join still? They're like, yeah, we might come into a World War III. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm still thinking about it.
People
I
think this is a
guess.
video game.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's the video game era. And unfortunately, there are not unlimited lives here.
No, but you
There's no
can't
reset
reset
button.
that. Yeah.
So, and part of this too, to get into the next.
Don't worry,
point
bro.
here,
I
that
play
way
hardcore mode. I play
we can
hardcore
have
mode.
Chris keep it under 9:00, right? Get this done soon. Where do you guys think this plays into the inflation thing? Because I was my boy Uncle Joe on Facebook. There was I was going to say a tweet, but that's just
That's the
stole my
Trump,
plan on that
Trump
one there.
term. Is a
Yeah,
tweet.
he's
Trump's.
so he says, I have a better plan to fight inflation. Lower your costs, not your wages. Make more cars and semiconductors in America. More infrastructure and innovation in America. More goods moving faster and cheaper in America. More jobs where you can earn a good living in America. And this is the part that really gets me. Instead of relying on foreign supply chains, let's make it in America.
Except for fuel.
You're right, except for energy. Except for energy.
We're just going to use all of our fuel first and then go to Russia and start paying them for fuel. And then if anything happens, we'll just keep paying for more.
Yeah, this is
not going to run out.
This is going to be part of my rant. But I wanted to, this is a perfect segue. I don't get why we're saying this stuff, but we're not doing any of it.
Are we rant? You're not going on a rant?
No, no, I'm not.
Hard 9. So I think it's a type of control. And I think they're trying to push out more electric stuff at this point. for cost efficiency, because then it helps them when it comes to transporting the oil and everything for gas. So I think there's a huge push for electric cars right now in the automotive industry, especially in the Detroit area. I think that it's pretty sad that he's trying to tell us to lower our self-value in our business entrepreneurship to have better costs for our people out there, which is kind of shitty. But hey,
Well, I would love to lower my costs. I would love to lower how much I pay to drive around and go earn money. I would
I think you're
love
saying
to.
in taxes.
I would love to lower my taxes. I would love to. I would love to lower the cost of my food that has gone up for my family.
mhm,
I would love to
mhm.
lower my healthcare costs. All those costs that it costs to live your life. I would love to lower them, but I don't get to choose that. Uh, the free market is what's doing it. And when you start here's what interrupts a free market. People need to go take economics. They really do. They need to go to their community college. They need to go sign up for a class and understand how economics works, because it's a free market right up until there's a third party that gets involved, i.e., the government.
Mhm.
Then it's not a free market anymore. It's a pseudo free market.
Mm.
Whenever there's
Caps.
legislation and red tape and all these things that come into play, it adjusts things. I mean, we see it in the real estate market because interest rates have been artificially held down for a very, very long time. They're not free market, they're pseudo free market. And so, of course, I want to lower my costs, but wow, Joe, should I do that? Maybe my mortgage, if I'm paying $1,000 a month, maybe I'll just, I got to lower my costs. Send them a little letter. Hey, Joe Biden said I needed to lower my costs, so I'm going to only pay you $400 this month. I wonder how that's going to go.
Or childcare. Like, what are you going to go to
Yeah.
I don't even have a kid. And I think about, like, what do people do with kids? Like, you have to take your kid to childcare so you can go to work. What are you going to go there and tell them, like, this $300 a week or $200 a week is not sufficient. I got to lower my costs. I'm going to pay you $150. Like, what the hell? Like, that's not going to work.
And then what does that person do? Who's doing the child care?
Yeah, she's
they're
just not going to watch her kid. She's just like,
well,
yeah,
I
can
can't
change-
afford gas now, and food.
I can
for
change
myself.
one diaper a day on that cost.
Yeah, I know my costs have gone up too, but you can pay me a little less. I'll make it.
You're right. Okay.
No, I wouldn't make it. I'm not changing my value, or I'm not decreasing what I have to, like, it's not happening. I'm sorry. You want me to what? I don't think we should be working together then. Period. Because if you don't want to show me that you truly value me, then I'm going to move on. And that's it.
Well, Cooper, you're in for a treat here because on our show we have what's called the weekly rant.
He's doing
it. And this is where Chad just goes off on a rant, and we all sit back, listen, and enjoy.
For now.
Take it away. Rant!
So I'm going to try to keep it tight for you, Chris. And you said it perfect. But based on what I just read from Uncle Joe, you were so spot on. It's basic economics. If supply and demand, right? So basic economics says when demand increases, cost increases. When supply increases, demand goes down, cost decreases. So if we're battling inflation, which is apparently all Putin's fault, nothing that we did economically, no regulations in the U.S., no law, not giving themselves a 21% pay increase, none of that leads to inflation somehow. It's all Putin's fault. And this isn't just a Joe Biden thing. The government continues to give themselves pay raises every year. But it's basic economics. We have this where now there's a gas shortage or a fuel shortage, allegedly, energy crisis, whatever you want to call it. And what do? We say we're going to stop buying oil from Russia. So if we decrease our supply, demand goes up. Therefore, cost goes up. And Biden wants us to produce more things in America, but he doesn't want to produce more oil in America. He doesn't want to produce more energy in America. So what is the government doing to fight inflation? They're not doing anything. It's all propaganda, if you want to call it that. It's all just BS. They're just saying whatever they can say because they're the big news, and you'll believe them. And then I'm going to wrap back around to this. If we're worried about all these costs and everything, the government and Congress gave themselves a 21% pay increase. 21%. Anybody out there is lucky to get a 5% pay increase year over year at their corporate job. The government gave themselves 21% pay increase. Where does the money come from? It comes from taxes. How do you get more taxes? Increase the price of goods. It's basic economics. That's all there is to it. I mean, I'm going to end it with this. I mean, you guys got to give me, like, when you read stuff like the government giving themselves a 21% pay increase, what goes through your guys' heads?
Where's mine?
Yeah, right?
What goes through my head is we need to blow up the entire system and start all over. These people are insane.
Yeah, but how do we start a takeover? I don't even know. Like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to be canceled or audited or even try to get a knock at my door. I shouldn't be saying that stuff. But honestly, what needs to, that's when we go to those basics of what do we need to do? What needs to happen? What do we do as people and changing and having our voice heard? And it's sad because our voice is heard so much more when everything happens internally, when we should be having our voice heard when it becomes more of a global issue.
Fuck them kids.
Well, I mean, you think about it, we were having so many issues during COVID and the lockdowns and everything like that. Where's that energy? We're having major issues with economy and possibly people living places. Where's that energy? Where's the energy for the homeless people in California?
Right?
Where is this energy for us?
Where's the energy to attack the legislation that resulted in the homelessness in California?
Yeah, it's so sad. And then
people didn't wake up one day and be like, you know what? I can't. I'm going to be a homeless person today. I got to believe that is not, maybe there's sure that happens, but if you took the issue at whole, there's no way that, these people who are in that situation want or have chosen to be there. It's the result of external factors, and we need to help them because we're a compassionate society. Let's go.
And then that's when I bring it back. We should definitely not get involved in World War III in Russia because we definitely have our own issues that we need to tackle itself.
The only thing I would say is if we're going to get involved, we need to get involved now to put an end to it before it becomes too big. So then we're not sucked into something bigger later. Step in and end it now.
The Cold War, a long, drawn out process. Years. Yes, exactly. I hear you. Yeah, I'm the type of person to be like, I'm just gonna go in and shut this shit down real quick. I'll be back for some coffee later.
Right.
Let's I'm not
grab a happy hour.
Yeah, for real. I just, there shouldn't be this much pain and misery and unknowing of, whether or not you may have a street to walk down tomorrow. There shouldn't be that. There shouldn't be people guessing if they're going to be able to get food. So I would go in super quick and be like, yeah, I'm shutting you down. Canceling you.
Cancel.
Well, let's get into something a little more cheery. Wholesome story.
I'm down.
Mr. Producer, this was a great find. About a little boy doesn't want to go to school on a Monday. He's got a bad case of the Mondays. Let's see it here.
The Mondays. Play it.
It's a hump day. It's
no.
I think it's time to have that moment on a Monday or really Sunday night where we just say enough is enough. I cannot do this anymore.
If I could see
but for
this.
one 4-year-old, the case of the Mondays is super cute. and now it's
That's
super
nuts.
viral. Check out young Landry King. He's walking out to catch the bus this past Monday. He's just walking down the driveway and putting on his mask when he decided, you know what, enough is enough. He just lays down. He just laid down on the concrete. The bus assistant went to check on him. Is everything okay? Oh yeah, he was okay. He just wasn't having it on a Monday.
He's just like, I'm not going to school today.
So
I don't want
great.
Dude, was it the bus driver that came off the bus? Was like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Is that what?
I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it.
It's so great.
Can you imagine just walking up with your buyers to a house with 42 million people in front of it? You're just like, oh.
You're like, I'm not showing this house today.
You're not gonna win. You don't have enough money for this.
Yeah.
Did you see that video I posted the other day? It was like last week or something. And it was like in Raleigh, North Carolina, and they had like 250, like it was like 100 people outside. It was such a joke. And someone was like, "Yeah, this is like the market right now." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
Wow.
Yeah,
It was insane.
That's
cars
crazy.
up and down the street, and it's a joke. It's a joke. But that poor little kid, I feel him. That's how I felt today, for real. I just want to be like, put me out of my misery. Oh.
Right. I feel
Yeah, I'm getting ready to probably sell my house in the next few months here, and it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I can tell you what's going to happen already. You're going to shit ton of offers. It's going to be overpriced. Like, I already know.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
The best advice that Chris and I could probably give you. Oh, because you're in real estate, right?
I used to have my license, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, if Chris isn't selling your home,
no expert.
I would love to help you. So,
well, he lives in Connecticut, so
I still can connect you
Nice
with
try,
someone.
Cooper.
I can still
Nice
connect you. Like, it's all about the connections. Like, let's get that. But no, even no matter where it is, you're still gonna get a shit ton of money, because of the
I had
market
the thirst
last year.
traps everywhere over my home.
Hey, start putting them out, like just water all over yourself.
Chad is a thirst trap. Got that beard rocking.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I just say go away for the weekend or go away for a week so you can have people come through without having them to worry if they're gonna bug you. That's the only thing. Like, just leave. Just get out of the house.
Yeah. We should just go hide in the shed. That
Not
when
even
someone
that.
comes to open up the shed.
Ah!
Hey!
Would you like a drink?
Yeah. Yeah, just have a couple of chairs in there, hook up a TV, run some power out there.
You guys
All right,
like a
people.
nice fire?
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a backyard
great.
barbecue here.
Yep.
Everybody's gonna be drinking, and then we're gonna have a live auction for this house. Go ahead. We're just gonna have all the bids come in right now.
25. Hey, can I get 300?
I got 300 over here. I got 325. 325 to the guy over there. All right. Do I hear 335? 335, 345.
That'd be great. I might try that.
I mean, there's homes for
going once,
auction.
365 going twice.
There's houses for auction.
375. 375.
There's legit homes on the market right now for auction. I heard a agent in a different state. She said that she won an offer. It was like everything over, everything asking, everything for free, just everything they gave to the sellers. But what they added and what they had won out of the offer was that they offered $300 towards a night out and a babysitter, because the buyers noticed that they had cribs in their home and children's toys, and they offered a night out for a free babysitter and a free meal, and they got it.
Well, that's thoughtful.
Yeah, but why are you chancing on winning a house that way?
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
Just something.
I'll give you $300. I'll give you $300 and put it towards whatever you want. I don't care, but like, just give me the damn house for my client. It's just like, there's other ways of going about this, but and it's crazy. It's because like what I said, it's not about like your normal sell and buy process anymore. Like literally what I had just talked about in the beginning of coming on here. It's not about, I just sold a house or I just bought a house. It's literally about getting down to the nitty gritty of people wanting the enjoyment of their life back.
Wow. Hold that thought. hold that thought for the last topic after we get through Chris's corner here. This is my favorite part of the show. Hear this guy just go ape shit.
This is going to be the Chris and Cooper corner today.
I like the ring.
All right, so my first question to you. Are you surprised by resiliency of the Ukrainian people?
No, absolutely not. And I'll tell you why. Because they're fighting for freedom. And everybody in today's age knows about freedom, knows what's available to them. And as a human species, if you know that it's possible, then you're going to fight for it. I mean, literally, I would rather die than be enslaved. I'm not going to be enslaved. You're not going to do it. I would rather die. And in fact, I'm not going to just die because you're going to beat me. You're going to die fighting me. I'm going to die going down in a blaze of glory, like Bon Jovi style. So I don't know. What do you think, Coop? You think that's the reason why?
Yeah, because like what you're just saying, like they haven't come out of this not too long ago, and they're still trying to keep their freedom, still trying to hold on to what they've built throughout these years that they started something. I mean, unfortunately, we haven't seen what they've built, which would have been nice to know more about these countries, but yet we're sheltered from all of it. But yes, I totally agree with you.
Very nice. So on to the second question here. So the Biden administration said they're not going to send Poland F-15s? I feel like it's F-16s. I don't know. It's a fighter
The
jet.
fighter jets. Yeah. F-15s.
So they refused to send those to Poland. In return, that Poland was going to send MiGs to Ukraine. Do you think we should have sent those, or do you think it was a good call?
It's a good call.
You think not sending them was good?
Yeah, because Poland's right there. They should have sent the MiGs without question. Just like it just goes back to like we're halfway across the world. Why would we be sending stuff? Like, okay, why do we have to negotiate with Poland when they're right there and they're a part of NATO to be helping neighboring countries? Send the shit.
So I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, in that Russia has come out and said, if you do this, you're basically enabling war. NATO and US are collaborating. And so the hesitancy there to validate that statement. What I would say is, I don't fucking care. I'd send whatever I want, whenever I want, and I won't ask you. I'm doing a deal with somebody over here. It doesn't, too bad. You don't like it? Too bad. Well, I don't like what you're doing to the Ukraine, so stop doing that, and I won't have to send jets. How about that? Back up.
I like it.
Yep.
Getting that ape shit started.
Let's go.
All right, so I don't know where you're going to go with this. I wish I had like a juicier question next, but maybe this is going to be juicy. So your boy Colin Kaepernick is back to begging. This is like a yearly circus that he runs. He's back to begging to play in the NFL, but he's previously compared the NFL to slavery.
This guy.
Is this hypocritical? Like, why is he begging to play in the NFL if it's slavery?
He's an idiot, quite frankly. He's one of the dumbest people ever on the planet. He might have the right heart. He might want to make a difference. He might want to be a social warrior justice, but warrior guy. But the fact of the matter is, he stepped off his platform. And you know why he stepped off his platform? Because he sucks at football. That's why. And it's just what it is. You suck at football. You're not good. Yeah. And there's kids that are better than you now that have longer opportunities to have life cycle. It's an investment. If I'm a team owner, I'm not bringing your crap in. You're not good. You don't win. The NFL is not, no matter what they say, they are not in the social business. They are in the competition business.
Money making business.
Money. They compete. They have talent. That's what they care about. The end. The other stuff, secondary.
I agree with all of that. That guy's such a laughing joke. It's like a running joke. And it's so funny that you say like a yearly thing he comes out. It's like every time he does come out, it's something new. It's something like against what he had, just basically didn't perform in the best way in his platform. And now he's going back on it and he's begging because he's not making money.
Well, and I'll say this to wrap this one up. A lot of times, like, I speak firmly and directly, especially when I'm dealing with people. And sometimes they get testy, or when they know they're bad wrong. You know how people shift off of topic, like they don't want to address the topic anymore. They want to like now make it personal, or like one of my favorites is, "Why are you yelling at me?" And I like to respond, "Oh, would you like me to yell at you so you can discern the difference?" Because that's what it is. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Would you like me to help you with that so you can discern the difference? And in this case, hey Kaepernick, you think this is slavery? Would you like us to enslave you and give you an example so that you can learn the difference? Because you don't seem to understand what slavery is, my man. If you're an NFL quarterback, former NFL quarterback, and you think you were enslaved, I got some news for you, buddy boy.
And I feel like that's like the worst thing to compare anything to.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
How atrocious. And like, for anybody who's ever been delineated, or had ancestors who were actual slaves and had to live through that in their history, family tree, like to make a mockery of it like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm a millionaire, and I play a game, and but it's like slavery, dude. Bad. No, not like slavery.
Like, I don't know. Like, I know I have no word to speak on it, but like, how could you compare anything to that? I'm sorry, especially like a platform that helps people create such an abundance of wealth and like, success and community building, and, exercises. Like, how could you? Oh, what?
What? All
right. So on to the next one here. Is Juicy Smollett suicidal, or what?
He said he wasn't.
There?
He said he wasn't. When he was leaving the courtroom, he let everyone know, "I'm not suicidal. No, I'm not suicidal." Which is like code for you're crazy, dude. One, you were guilty as hell, and I don't understand why he's like, "I'm innocent." No, actually, we had a trial on this, and your peers like determined you are guilty. Yeah.
He wrote the check.
He wrote the check.
He wrote the check.
He kept that Subway sandwich. Man, I haven't been to a Subway in a long time, but I got to imagine that sandwich must have been pretty damn good for him to get a Subway sandwich, get his ass beat, and hold on to that Subway sandwich.
There's even more to that story too,
now he's
because
about to get a foot long.
So here's another thing that got added to this story after the fact, and that was his brother, I believe it was, went onto his social media account and posted a video saying that there have been signs posted on his cell saying he's basically like could be prone to suicide. And his brother went onto his social media, like Jesse, however the hell you say his name, I don't care, I can't figure it out. Whatever, Juicy. We'll call it Juicy. He went onto Juicy's social media and was like, "I just want to let you guys know he's not suicidal, blah, 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 this, that, and the other." Like, okay, what narrative are you trying to push here? Because I'm willing to bet he's gonna end up dead. He's probably going to. He's in prison for what, 6 months, 5 months, something like that? Someone's gonna end up whooping his ass because he's a fucking idiot. Like, let's just be honest.
Wow.
You can't add
need
to
to
the
censor
F-word
that.
count.
You already did.
I know. I'm allowed to.
I still can't believe this is going on though. And I still can't believe someone would try to coerce the media and everyone else that had looked after him through such great acting. It still blows my mind. Like, and then plus who wants to pay someone to beat them up? I don't want to get beat up.
I have a follow-up question for you. His lawyers, I believe, came out today and said that somebody was caught on tape saying that they're gonna beat his ass in jail and do all this other stuff and pretty much kill him. Do you guys think that this is part of the ploy to get him out from having to serve jail time at all?
Yes, 100%.
It's like a whole
100%.
Martha Stewart thing. Like, let's just put them in a different facility to make them feel more safe. No, you still did the goddamn crime.
I say put him in isolation. Go put him in the tank for a little while.
Put them with the pedos.
Oh, jeez.
I don't even care. I don't even care. Put him somewhere that's actually
savage.
going to make him really think about what he did.
I
Period.
wish I could crack into his social media account. If I could get that, I would tweet out, Hillary Clinton murdered all those kids or something. I've got the dirt. I have the proof.
Oh,
And then, like, guaranteed he's gone.
I was gonna say, I feel like I would tweet out a GIF from Dumb and Dumber of Harry, where he's driving the van, foot long. Who wants the foot long?
Oh, gee. Do you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Yeah.
Here comes Juicy Smollett. Ah!
I'm still like, what? Like this whole, like all these topics today. I'm like, what?
I know, right?
we just go all over there. All right, so this is the last question for Chris's corner. Chris, oh, there it is. Footlong. Who wants the footlong? What are you grateful for?
You, buddy. I love you, man.
Aw.
I'm grateful for all of you. I love Cooper. Actually, I am super grateful that Cooper decided to come on our show. She didn't
it's
know
awesome.
what was going on, and it kind of came by happenstance. She was talking about she's got her own podcast that she does, and I was a guest on her show, and that's basically how it happened. I was like, hey, I sent her a message. I'll be on your show if you come on my show. And
quid pro quo.
Yeah, so it was good, and we did her show a week or so ago. But yeah, and super just grateful for health and family. When all the stuff that's going on in the world, it's pretty humbling to look around and be like, I live in Livonia, Michigan, man, this is pretty good. Even though as much as I complain about all the other wild things in the world, but just a little perspective goes a long way. So super grateful for everybody in my life.
Cooper.
You're the best. Oh, grateful to be able to breathe and get up in the morning literally every single day. I'm like, I woke up, I'm here, I'm breathing, I'm super thankful. What can I change today? That's what I'm grateful for.
Fantastic. Nice. Let's get a little wrap up for there. So the last topic, this is where I'm calling you back out. We're going to circle back. We're circling back. What do you think, this is a little life topic for those listeners. What do you think keeps people stuck in a rut, and how can they get out?
Chris, you go.
I think just general apathy gets people stuck in a rut where they've lost sight of the fact that, I think a loss of perspective, and so it's kind of like if something comes on your family or somebody gets diagnosed with a terminal disease or they lose their health, it brings perspective real quick. Like you've now lost time. You don't have this open-ended time that you are in. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who just are, apathetic to that. They don't understand that they could be, taking action or doing the things that you need to do to get out of the rut. But the question was, what keeps people stuck in the rut? And it's just an unwillingness to address their own personal situation. It's my
yes
answer.
Personal responsibility.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because the fact is I always want myself to feel those emotions and go through having to feel that pain and hurt to be able to deal with it and, face my issues head on, to know how I can handle this in the future. And that's how I get out of that rut. So I love that you're like, face those issues head on, but like, feel those emotions, feel whatever you're feeling at that time and, cry it out, laugh it out, scream it out, whatever you got to do. Feel everything that needs to go through it. And then know like, okay, these were my goals. This was my perspective. How do I get back on track?
Yeah. Stop blaming others. Say, I'm going to make the change today. I'm going to make the change. It's my fault where I'm at in life. And the only person who can get me out of this is myself. It's not a family member, a friend, the government, a kid, a parent. It's myself. I'm the only one who can get me out of this rut. That was great, guys.
Or we can ask
Pleasure.
Putin if we can get out of the rut, because everything's his fault right now.
Yeah.
He's gonna tell us no, but
Yeah.
hey, I like to live by a yes life.
I gotta believe I can take Putin. I'm 6'3".
I would love a nice arm bar on him. Like that would be so
Ooh.
much fun. Like that would be fun.
Or put him in a half Nelson and just kind of beat him in the face until he.
I don't know, like
mean,
just like a knee bar or a nice
Yeah.
little ankle twist, like catch him off guard, like maybe kick him because usually people are expecting a punch.
Mm.
After I knocked him out, I would probably go straight mountain to the Viper on him. Game of Thrones reference right there.
That's great. Well, hey, I'm grateful for you guys being on the show tonight. Appreciate everyone here. Cooper, Chris, Mr. Producer, Austin helping out there in the background. You're somewhere
That's good.
out there.
Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
It's
It's
been
been
great.
nice to be on a different platform and be able to, openly express my opinions with you all. So thank you.
Absolutely.
We'll have you back for sure. We'll have you back. Commander Whalls.
Commander
Until next
Dayton.
week, my friend.
Under his eye, Commander.
Under his eye. Go in grace.